up into the sky here. Got some honkers flying in too. Brother Don the legend, Trucker Don, down in the flats, got his decoys all set up. So yeah, he might be in for a little treat. Looks like they're headed down his way. Hell yeah, Don. When I got into the tractor this morning, I started it up and the throttle was wide open. So last night I had my son and daughter ride with me in here, and I climbed out of the tractor, got my daughter out, then I got my son out. He must have been up in here pushing buttons, pushing levers. Yep, darn near pooped myself, I'll be honest with you. It scared the blazes out of me, honestly. Alright guys, well, we got the field all dissed, obviously, and ran home, got the drill. Now we're out here drilling. Changed out of my barn clothes too. Trying to keep the tractor not smelling like total cow manure. Father-in-law Jack is up picking rock on Court Road. So when I get done here, I haven't decided if I'm going to roll these fields first or take the disc up there and start discing up there. I'll probably roll these fields just to get them done and out of the way. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I'm not really sure where this video is going to go today because it's basically going to be the exact same day as yesterday, just with a little bit of assistance. But you know, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make content like we're going to make a video. Worst case scenario, I won't make a video today, and we'll just X-nay what I'm videotaping today. And that way, if something interesting comes up, or at least watchable content, I will have a start to the video. I should be a producer. Just a second. Yeah, so that's what we're up to here. We are rocking along. Last night, the field that I was on, I used almost exactly the amount of seed that I was hoping to. Because I did top off, I was almost empty. I'm like, I had a few passes left. I didn't want to run out in like a couple rows or something stupid like that. So I ran home and topped off. But that was at like 27 acres. And to be at my 2 bushel to the acre goal with this size drill, I should be able to do 30 acres on a full load. So I think we're about spot on. It's 120 pounds to the acre that we're seeding. So that's good to know. Good to know. Conditions are ideal. I know beginning of the week I was kind of complaining about the amount of rain that we got. I didn't mean to complain about it. It did slow us down a couple days, but conditions are perfect right now. Working the ground up, it's working excellent. Drilling it, it's working excellent. Yeah, couldn't ask for better conditions. And today it's supposed to get up to 86 degrees, which is amazing for a September day in New York. So this stuff should shoot right out of the ground, especially these couple fields that got manure. Like this field got 7,000 gallons to the acre of manure. I was shooting for 10, but 7's fine. We ran out of manure anyways, so it is what it is. But yeah, so the fact that this got manure, it got worked in, it got a little shot of rain, and now we're gonna drill it, roll it, and it's gonna be in the 80s. What more could you ask if you were a triticale seed? Those of you guys who are not familiar with triticale, it is a cross between wheat and rye. I have worked at farms that plant rye as their spring crop. Downside to rye, it gets so tall and it's not as leafy, so it's harder to merge and you don't have as big of a window. The quality really drops off quite a bit faster than trit. Triticale does too. Little science that I learned. Triticale comes from, I want to say it's Latin. Trit and Kale are 2 Latin words, I guess. I don't know. We could research this. I heard it last year, so I might be wrong, but basically it's wheat and rye combined into one word in like Latin or something. And technically, big dilemma at last year's Corn Congress meeting. The guys at our table were arguing whether it's triticale or triticale. Siri told us it is triticale. I don't know what to tell you. The old guy at the table with me told me that saying triticale sounds pretty feminine. I don't know what that's even supposed to mean, but I just call it triticale. Honestly, most of the time I just say trit. But yeah, anyways, back to what I was saying. Wheat does not yield as heavy. Rye yields heavier than wheat, but it's a pain to merge, and you got a smaller window. So triticale, you get the leafiness of the wheat with some additional height from the rye. So it's almost a perfect cross between the two, and you have a little bigger window with the quality. Not massive, but bigger. So that's why we plant triticale for our spring forage crop. Our nutritionist really likes it in the milk cow ration. We started using, or the whole reason we started was to feed it to heifers, which we do. We feed it heavy to our heifers, to be honest with you. Hopefully someday when we have more bunk space, we won't have to feed it quite so heavy, so that way it'll last longer throughout the year. Right now, when we harvest it in the spring, it's got to be gone by the time that we start chopping corn, because we need the bunk space for corn. So that's kind of a downside. But at the end of the day, a ton of feed is a ton of feed. And the cows milk well on it. The heifers love it. The only downside that we've seen in heifers, because it's usually a little bit wetter, that's usually put up 30 to 32, just because it's harder to dry down and it's such a heavy crop. So it's put up a little bit wetter. For whatever reason, when you feed it, there's these little like gnat bugs. They're not bad, but they're noticeable. They cause pink eye. So we had to start vaccinating for pink eye pretty heavily when we started feeding that. That's just what the vet said. That's not scientific, but you do notice the minute we start feeding it. Ideally, we'd like to get it dried down more. But when I say it's a heavy crop, most guys around here are getting 8 to 10 tons per acre off of that. So you put that into a swath, it's hard to get dry. It's hard to get dry. A lot of people will ted it, but those people who ted it generally are mowing with triple mowers, so the windrows aren't quite as big. We run 16-foot swathers that just lay it in a row, so our rows are narrower, quite a bit narrower than a triple mower, and it's too much for a tedder. So yeah, that's the only downside, is it is harder to get dry, but it's an excellent crop. And after we harvest that, we come right in, put manure on the field, plant corn. So we're double cropping off of those acres, that's awesome. That's awesome. Ideally, we would like to plant a ton more of it. The issue becomes, what do we do with our manure when we have to spread manure throughout the winter? Because we need X amount of acres of open corn ground to do that. Now I know some people have drag lined, ran a dribble bar and put that directly on top of the triticale. We do not have a dribble bar, and we do not have a drag line. It's such an expensive cost for the amount of cows that we milk. We have gotten drag lines in before, so it's something I would like to try in the future. There have been guys that when it's really frozen will go in with their tanks and spread on top. I'm a little worried because those guys all use manure solids. We use sand, so our manure is thicker, and I don't want to smother the crop. I don't think it would, but I would feel much safer running a dribble bar for that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's something exciting to do in the future. Also, now that we're going to have more manure storage, maybe we could plant a little bit more, just for the simple fact of we got more storage, so we will not have to we won't have to spread so frequently. But yeah, that was kind of a long ramble. I guess that gave you some good content. Look at that. All I got to do is open my mouth and run my mouth. Those of you guys who are interested in spring forages via cover crops, that hopefully helped you guys a little bit, but it probably didn't. radio. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to this. All right, guys, we're up here on Court Road. I don't know, this field's 40, 50 acres, something like that. It's been dissed once, but this was pre-rain. So I'm actually not sure how this is gonna go. We will see how it works up. May have to hit it hit it twice, I don't know. It's definitely crusted over and pretty hard, but we will see. I think it'll work up fine, but on the odd chance it doesn't, we'll just hit it twice, I suppose. Long, narrow field, so you can cover acres pretty quick. But yeah, it's different than the stuff that I've been working in, that's for sure. All right, well, I could not have been more wrong. This is working up like an absolute dream. As you can see, I'm taking a pretty aggressive angle on this. I dissed it with the rows the first time. I'm gonna disc it against the rows now. I like to drill straight rows against dissed rows that were dissed at a kidder, because it's just a little easier to see where you've gone, because the rubber roller on the back of this thing leaves it looking like it was drilled, if that makes sense. Just the pattern of the dirt is the same as drilled ground. So if I disc it at a kidder and I drill straight, it's very easy to tell where I've drilled and where I haven't. Yes, I'm running GPS. I just like to know. So yeah, I mean, I'm not running GPS disking. I'm running GPS when I'm drilling, but it makes it easier to see. I don't know, my own little silliness. But anyways, yeah, working up phenomenal. So I'm pretty pumped about that. All right, well, 2:30. We hammered this big piece out about an hour and a half. So yeah, worked up phenomenal. So we'll run back, get the drill, we'll get that topped off, and work our way up here. I will need someone to run the seed tender up to me. Oh, probably half to 2/3 of the way through. But if no one's available, I'll just drive back home with it. I'm only a mile and a half from home, so I suppose we could do that too. But anyways, rambling here. Worked up good. We'll get right after it. You guys probably can't see that corn over there. Maybe I'll walk over later when you stretch my legs after drilling or something, but that's the picking corn, and it is drying down remarkably fast. I'd say the stalk's probably 60 to 70% dead. So looks much, much different than what we're chopping, but that's obviously planned. Planted first, shorter season corn, so that'll be good. That'll be good. Doesn't look like it's going to be a late fall by any means on the combine side of the operation. So. All right, guys, we are 35 acres into a 50-acre field here. That's what the official acre count on this field is, I guess. Just filled up, so I got enough to finish the field out. It's 5:45. So as long as we're home in time for a late supper, we're just gonna keep hammering here until this is done. We should be home by, I'd say, 7:30, 8 o'clock, which will be good. Bills Dolphins, Thursday night football. I think we might bake some cheeseburgers and sweet corn for dinner. At least that's what I've been craving all day. So yeah, good day. After this, we've only got one field of triticale left. They are currently probably 3/4 done chopping it. So tomorrow morning I will bring the roller up here and roll it, and then I can start working that field that they're in now. So yeah, I won't be done by tomorrow night, but probably by Saturday the triticale will be done, and we can dive into wheat Monday morning, because most of that ground is already worked. A whole lot of black smoke off there to the east. I wonder what's on fire over there. Hopefully someone doesn't have a chopper burning up or something, but yeah, so that's the plan. I was thinking someday it would be nice to have a no-till drill, maybe a 30-footer, 35-footer. This is a 25, so something a little bit wider. It's kind of a rough spot here. Something a little bit wider and no-till. My ultimate goal someday is to have cover crops on every acre of ground. That's not obviously hay. Every acre of corn ground, if I could get something growing on it through the winter. I'm not one of these hippie cover crop guys, but at the end of the day, this beautiful dirt here, it's taken a beating over the last 50 years. I mean, moldboard plow, it's deep tilled every year, this again, yada, yada, yada. So not to sound like a next-gen hippie here, but it would be nice to kind of preserve this soil, because this allows us to get away with a lot. I mean, I see some of you guys overseas, instead you guys are pulling wagons instead of trucks, flotation tires instead of trucks, flotation tires instead of duals. We're allowed to get away with a lot of things because of this dirt. This is very, very, very good dirt. In fact, where we're building the barn, you guys have seen that barn site many times. When we were clearing the ground for that, the construction guy came over and he's like, "You're not going to believe this." He said, "But we're peeling 30 inches of topsoil off of this ground." Now, granted, that is our prime ground. That's the stuff right down by the farm. It's called the home farm on our computer. That's there's a rock that I gotta get. That's like our best ground on there, but still 30 inches of topsoil. And under that subsoil, it's not even like you're getting into bedrock or anything like that. So we gotta preserve this dirt. Try to do a better job in the future. So hopefully someday, like I said, no-till drill, something a little bigger, and we can just chase the chopper all fall. We'll probably still disc the ground that we're gonna harvest for forage. Just because we obviously cut it real low with a mower, so we don't want the debris and the rocks and stuff like that. So we'll probably still work that ground, but everything else, it'd be nice to go in and just no-till, I don't know, 40, 50 pounds to the acre of something onto that. A lot of people around here are really big into the cover crop mixes, radishes, sunflowers, rye, cereal rice. Some people are even going as far as planting rows, 15 inches of one crop and 15 inches of the other, and then they come in and they strip till the row that, I don't know, works better than others for the strip tiller. There's endless opportunities with the cover cropping. So that's kind of my goal someday, is to get a bigger drill, no-till drill. I really like the Great Plains. And it seems like the Landalls are becoming more and more popular around here. So I'm not overly familiar with them, but I am really familiar with the Great Plains drill, and there's a dealer right in Perry, so that's a possibility. Like I said, that's all the fine details, but anyways, someday it would be nice to be able to chase the chopper all fall and hit every acre. Worst case scenario, you could always just broadcast it on. Some people do that. I don't know. I think no-till drilling it might be a little better, but it's also more expensive and a little bit slower. But I don't know. So I'm just kind of rambling here to finish the day out. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it's kind of repetitive. This is what we're doing when the sun is shining in the fall. Until this is done, which I've got 138 acres a week still to do, plus another 50, 60 acres of triticale on this field that, like I said, they're chopping now. So I'm going to be at this for another probably 4 or 5 days anyways, pending weather, which it looks like we still got plenty of good weather ahead of us. So this is what we're going to be doing. We might take a day or two off of YouTube next week if it's just the same old. But, we're doing our best. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Tell your friends, your family, your enemies about the farmer on YouTube who's just been running a drill all week and just rambling at this point. Tell them, see if they like me. If they don't, well, so be it. And we will see you guys potentially tomorrow. Thanks for watching.